we are in for a real treat this time around because we're going to be talking to Kelly DeHann, who is the musical director here at Hale Center Theater. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what he has to offer. I know we're in for a real treat. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, Colin.
Awesome. You are amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Honestly, from my experience of trying to be cast in different shows and being cast in different shows, I've been able to work with you and see what you do, and you do just amazing work. So thank you so much for meeting with me and also being able to teach us a little bit about music and about singing.
Glad to help out.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me a little bit about your role. What would you say your role actually is?
Well, I've been a music director here at the Hale Center Theater since 1997. Yeah, it's been a while. I did a show called The Secret Garden, and I played Dickon in that show, and it was great. It was a fabulous show at the old theater.
Yeah.
And as once I finished that show, they saw that I was musical, and so they brought me on to do music, and I have stayed on as a music director and actor ever since. I love it here.
Oh my goodness. Well, you are like royalty here. And so honestly, I've heard, yeah. Well, I'm so glad. Thank you so much. That's so cool. It has, what got you into doing musical theater and also even musical directing?
Yeah, well, I was pursuing a degree in choral education. I'm actually a high school choir teacher out at Mountain Ridge High School, go Sentinels. And I've been doing that for about 23 years as well. And as I was pursuing my degree, I saw a lot of my friends doing theater, and I thought, I want to be a part of that. And so I auditioned for, my first show during college was Into the Woods, and I played Jack back in the day. It was so much fun. And as soon as I did my first show, as you know, I was hooked.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I really enjoyed watching, the behind the scenes and how the guy was conducting the music for the orchestra and teaching all the music. And that's what I really wanted to do. So I learned how to do that from some of the best music directors in town and just kind of got roped into the business.
That's awesome. So do you also teach music, teach singing or?
Yeah, so I was a private voice teacher for about 20 years. I had a studio in my home, and but then life here at the Hale Center Theater got so busy that I had to kind of let that go and just kept this job and my day job as a high school choir guy.
Absolutely. So I've worked with you and seen you work just a little bit, and I love how you are able to even work with the voice, to bring more out of them, to try to get as much as you can. What would you say is the hardest part about that process of being a musical director?
Well, you meet all types, right? I mean, we just held some auditions for Guys and Dolls, and we had all sorts of voices, and they were all pretty awesome, actually, guys and gals. And but you've got to find just the right voice for just the right character.
Right.
And if you can find someone who looks the right part but doesn't quite sound right, that's where I can kind of come in and help find a better placement or help with the range so they can hit all the notes. So that's my job. I do that, and I teach all the music to all the actors.
Yeah. Would you say that's fun? Is it a fun experience
Oh my gosh.
to do that?
I love that. I'd say that's my favorite part of it. I enjoy meeting hundreds of new people every season. I enjoy playing for them and helping them to do their very, very best at the audition. Lately, we've had to do video submissions for auditions, and I kind of miss the element of me being able to support them as their accompanist. But the actors have done such a great job of being prepared and coming in ready for their auditions.
That's awesome. So cool. And you mentioned that you are a choir teacher.
Yeah.
And so is the singing that happens in a choir, is that different than what happens in musical theater?
Totally different. So it's all about placement, right? So in choir, we use kind of a back placement. So instead of singing la for musical theater, Tarzan, right? We're working on Tarzan right now. Everything kind of goes up the back, la, with a taller, rounder tone, and so it's completely different.
Yeah.
But I must say that our best actors are those who have studied choir in junior high and high school, because in choir they learn how to produce a healthy tone, but they also learn how to read music. And I've always thought that an actor who's going to do musical theater should really also be a musician that can actually read music. Otherwise, it's like an actor who can't read a printed page and has to stand on the stage holding the skull and someone's off stage saying to be or not to be, and then they deliver it. Right. But if you can read the printed music, you can sing the music, and we get so much more done with actors who actually took choir in high school or junior high, who paid the price, learned how to read, and that choral tone is useful. Even, for example, we're doing Tarzan right now. Even those gorillas singing that kind of pop music, they still have to find a place to do a healthy, beautiful choir tone. So it's very useful, but it's totally different. You're right.
Did you say pop music in Tarzan or in a musical?
Yes. In fact, more and more, Colin, I've noticed that pop music is having a place on stage. You'll see it on Broadway all over the place. We have these jukebox musicals, where you have collected music from one band that are featured. Beautiful, the Carole King musical is all her music. The singing in that is all with a pop placement. I mean, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of shows that use that style. And even the more popular shows right now that kids are really digging, like Dear Evan Hansen, that's in a pop style. And it's important that they learn that as well. A lot of teachers say, no pop, no musical theater. But if you want to just be one color of sound your whole life, that's great. But you should really learn all the types of sound.
Yeah.
And in musical theater, we use it all.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness, it's so cool to know that there's room for any type of singing that takes on the stage.
Yes,
Okay,
for sure.
cool.
I remember when we auditioned Aida, that took a very, very specific type of voice to just shred that amazing Elton John music, right? Just to kind of find that cut in there. Yeah. And that was a whole different type of artist that we brought in for that show. And $1 Million Quartet, which is running out, it's a whole different thing. And doing bluegrass with Bright Star, a whole different thing. So really, a smart actor would learn all the styles.
That's awesome. Oh man. Well, me personally, I don't read music as well as I could, but I remember looking at notes, and if it goes up, then it goes higher. If it goes down, then it goes lower.
Right.
So trying to figure out that balance a little bit.
You should learn more.
Okay.
No, understanding rhythm,
okay.
Understanding where you are inside the key, learning your key signatures and note names, and so that you can communicate with a music director and with your fellow cast members in a musical sense is as important as understanding stage right and left, down and up. And, it really is important understanding the language.
That's cool. Thank you. So me, growing up, especially with a family of singers, we sang a lot of R&B, a lot of pop, and but I've always loved watching musicals as well. And so, and also I loved even being a part of a choir occasionally, but I don't know if I ever really had a choir type sound. So can you help me with that a little bit? I'd love to learn from you a little bit about.
Absolutely. So Conlon, I know your voice very well. We've done a lot of projects together, but I want you to sing this note for me. I want you to sing just in a big, bright Bonner sound. La.
Okay. Now I'm smiling and I can't calm myself.
Just do it.
All
do
right.
it. Sing.
La.
Yeah. So now we take that sound, sir, and we pull it back a little bit. We drop the tongue. We drop the jaw, and instead of la, which is really coming through our teeth and our face, we're going to send it up the elevator shaft. La. Show me that. La. Yeah. So we would mess with your vowels a little bit, make sure that they are blended. When you're singing with a choir, right, you've got a whole group of people that you're trying to blend with and balance with.
Yeah.
And that kind of taller, higher choir tone where we've got the soft palate raised and the tongue is low and the jaw is low, that's easier to blend, right?
Yeah.
And it also rings the acoustic. In musical theater, the whole goal on Broadway before we had microphones was to get over the orchestra, right? Everything's coming up roses, right?
Yeah.
Was to get out in front of the orchestra. And so that's what developed that big Broadway sound.
That's awesome.
And but a choir sound is all of us working together and with the room and with the ambience to really create some amazing music. That's why a tall tone is pretty good. And
Yeah.
actually, that was pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Well, man, because I can see how doing that more choral sound or keeping, did you say palate up or something?
We want our soft palate raised, tongue dropped.
As you do that, I can see how other people who might be singing with me might be able to blend well with that.
Totally, and it creates some great magic.
Okay.
I love it.
That's awesome. Can I ask you this? Because I know there's a lot of acting that happens in musicals and in plays in general. What's the benefit of singing in a musical? What does it actually do to the story? Or
I think music is an even higher form of acting.
Ooh.
Because I think music takes a message further.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm sitting in church and I'm getting a message, that's great. But if someone is singing a message, I'm like, I hear you. If I'm listening to a speaker at a seminar, that's great. But if he's got music coming along with him, I'm like, I hear you.
Yeah.
And I feel the same about acting. I think music can take it to the next level. Instead of just having words and emotion, we also have the added emotion of the orchestra. We have the range of the music. So if an actor is having angst or in love, then that music just soars up and really communicates on a third dimension or fourth dimension the emotion of the music. I think it really does take it to the next level.
Wow.
But I mean, so often here, Conlon, we see actors who don't know how to combine the two. They're a great actor and they can sing, but they get a little weird when it's time to combine both. But an experienced actor and an actor who trains him or herself through college and studying even in high school and junior high can really learn how to bring the two together to incredible results.
Yeah.
And they're very rare, especially in the younger kids, to find someone who can really tie in to what it means to convey a message through music.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love how you described it as a higher form of acting. You know.
Well, I'm a musician, so I do feel that way.
Okay.
But as I watch a musical, I'm swept up in it, and it becomes a natural part of the acting to me.
Yeah. So, a quick question about the casting experience.
Yeah.
What would you say a person needs to do in order to get cast? Is there any tips that somebody might need to have for getting cast in a show?
Absolutely. You need to be prepared. You need to do everything you can to be ready for the moment. And then you have to let all that go.
Ooh, yeah.
You have to just trust that you've done it all. All this preparation is funneled into this 30-second moment of your life.
Yeah.
And instead of freaking out about that moment, embrace that moment. I'm here, the panel is there, I'm ready to sing and I'm ready to show them, and just be prepared and then enjoy the moment. I think we grow more in that 30-second time slot than we do in all of our hours of preparation. We learn more about ourselves, we learn more about our voice, and we get to show people what we've actually been working on. So don't get in your way and don't put up a wall. Just do it.
Yeah. Is there a certain stance that you need to have when you are singing at all?
It depends on what you're singing, right?
Ooh.
It all depends. Every breath you take in depends on what message you want to convey. If you're singing that you're in love, you breathe like that. If you're singing something urgent, it's all, and stance is all part of that. Just allow it to be honest. We see so many people that, the whole hat and cane routine, we don't want to see that.
Yeah.
We want to see Conlon being Conlon, singing this song and delivering these lines.
Yeah.
We want to see how you do it.
That's awesome. Oh, because I know so many times people get in their heads trying to give this message or whatever
because it
is.
matters. We've been working so hard, and it does matter. But in that moment, just like an Olympian, right? Zen out.
Yeah.
And then just do your thing.
Sorry, one last thing. I love it when I watch a show and see that they feel so comfortable portraying what they need to say. If it is that they're in love and they have a smile, or if they're evil and you just see as they're being bad, that they're that they can make that emotion even while they're singing. So
that's amazing that you can be drawn in by an actor who has prepared and knows how to just tell the story and be honest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There is an element of extra feels and goosebumps that take place when you hear that music come in as well. This is incredible, just to learn about music, learn about how singing can actually make it that much more. Is there anything else that stands out to you about singing that would be beneficial for anybody to learn?
Absolutely. I mean, I could go on for hours, and I will not. But so often, especially with kids, they put so much effort into preparing an audition or preparing a piece that they want to present that they get in their heads and they don't lose themselves in the story, and they haven't worked with their voice enough to let it be just a natural part of their acting, chops. Yeah. I would encourage them to be themselves, to find music that lets them express some part of themselves, and then to lose yourself in the music and just enjoy it. If they knew that when they walk into an audition, that the whole panel of judges is not hoping they will fail. We are praying that you will be the person, that you will be the one that fits the role that we need. And if they knew how much we are rooting for them and really hoping that they're the one, they would calm the heck down. They would just get out of their head and just sing it, and just deliver it. It's crazy how many people get so nervous and they shut down. When they're in their homes or in their cars or in somewhere private, they can just sing, and then they shut down when they get in front of us. I wish they would see how much we want them to be the right fit.
That's awesome. Because I know I've been in that situation where I feel like, oh man, I get in my head and then I kind of lose what I've prepared and all those different things.
Let it go. We want you the way you are.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you, Kelly. This is just fantastic just to learn all these different elements, especially even in the casting element and auditioning. That is just valuable information. So thank you so much for taking the time to teach us a little bit.
My pleasure. My pleasure, Colin. Thank you. Thanks, guys.